Welcome, everyone. If you've been dealing with hip or lower back pain, you've probably focused on your glutes, core, maybe even your spine. However, most people miss the foundation. That is everything below the knee, your lower legs, your ankles, and your feet. They play a massive role in hip stability. Today, I'm sharing with you three simple lower leg exercises I do at least 5 times a week: calf raises, tibialis raises, and the short foot exercise. Exercise one, we have calf raises. Ideally, you want to be doing these on an elevated surface so that you can get the full range of motion. We want to keep these slow and controlled. Always press through your big toe. Make sure you're balancing your weight evenly and pausing briefly at the top and bottom of each rep. Just like that. And if you need a little bit of extra help, you can use some sort of prop, like a squishy soft ball. Place it in between your heels. And what this does is it helps improve your ankle alignment and foot engagement. So try that out and see if that works for you. There you go. And lastly, you can change your foot position, and that will bias which area of the calf you are targeting. So if I had my toes pointed out, that will target the inside, my inner calf, just like that. And if I did the opposite, so toes pointed inward, that will target my outer calf. And if you just had your toes pointed straight, it targets both the outer and the inner sides of the calf evenly. And don't forget to switch it up with weighted, seated calf raises to target the soleus muscle for complete calf development. Exercise 2, we got tibialis raises. You're going to want to find a wall and lean your back against it. But first, we want our feet about 1 foot away from the wall. So then we can lean our back against the wall. Make sure your rib cage is tucked in and your lower back is flat and has constant contact against the wall. Once you're in a good position, lift your toes towards your shins while keeping your heels down. And make sure as you're doing this exercise, you control the lowering down portion. You should feel the front of your shins working. This exercise helps with ankle stability and cleaner walking mechanics. And from here, you could just rep them out. You can also do a seated weighted variation with a kettlebell around your foot. Just be sure to use a towel for comfort. Exercise 3, we got the short foot exercise. This movement can be done both standing or seated, but I prefer the seated variation, and I believe it's a lot more accessible for those just starting off with this movement. This requires a lot of focus, so be wary. Before we begin, you're going to want to spread your toes from your pinky toe to your big toe. Make sure you have a nice wide base of support so they're all spread out and making contact with the ground, so they're evenly distributed. Then we're going to want to gently shorten the foot by pressing the tips of the toes into the ground, all of them at the same time. And as I do that, you're going to notice the ball of my foot pull towards my heel and my arch begin to naturally rise. And this is all just from pressing all the tips of my toes into the ground. Once we are in this position with our toes being pressed into the ground and our arch lifted, we want to hold that for about 5 seconds. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, release. And I'm doing these with both feet at the same time, but you can also do one foot at one time and then switch to the next foot if that is easier for you. So we're going to do it again. Press the tips of the toes into the ground. Notice how ball of my foot pulls towards my heel. Arch naturally rises. Hold that for 5 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Done. And if you're struggling with this, just think about spreading the toes from the pinky to the big toe, pressing them into the ground. And if you're doing everything right, your arch will naturally rise. So if you're struggling, just think about those two main things. Spreading your toes out and then pressing them into the ground. Your arch, if you're doing everything right, it will rise. Then hold that for 5 seconds. This movement is very important because it reconnects your feet to the ground for better balance and hip control. When it comes to programming, I'd start with 3 to 5 days per week. Aim for 2 to 3 sets of 15 to 30 reps for calf and tibialis raises. For the short foot exercise, try 3 sets, hold for 5 seconds per rep, and do about 5 to 8 reps. These 3 lower leg exercises have been staples in my hip rehab and made a huge difference in stability, balance, and overall movement. Don't overlook your foundation. Strong feet and ankles support your hips. If this helped, comment, like, and subscribe for more content like this. Thank you for your time.